This is the reason why we have an energy system. Like, it's largely due to the fact that we're just this game exists on Twitch. We have to learn how to work on this platform, right? And make the game work on the platform. Therefore, that means we have to cater to the rules that they decide to implement in order to help us. Oh my god! Oh my god! Let's get things started. Hi guys, this week I wanted to talk to you guys about a slightly controversial topic. Something that I think a lot of people see as a problem, but maybe they didn't know how to vocalize it, or if they're new to the community, they weren't quite sure why this was going on. And I want to talk about why it is sometimes that you have more marbles than you have actual viewers. Why is it that all your marbles aren't counting towards your viewership? Why is it sometimes that you have, let's say, 20 marbles, but you only shows 15 viewers? Why is it you have 15 marbles and it only shows that you have 7 viewers? Why is it that you have 10 marbles and it only shows you have 2 marble viewers or 2 viewers? So this kind of thing, I think, definitely scales. And it's definitely more noticeable in smaller streams, which I think for the vast majority of us, we are all smaller marble streamers. It's very rare, I think, or it's probably only in the top 10% that you're somebody who streams marbles and is averaging above 50 marbles, right? So it's a little bit harder to notice once you get past 50 viewers, but in many ways it's more relevant to those people. Those people are usually the people that are pushing for like partnership or something along those lines with Twitch. So this actually still applies to them as well. First, let's go through like a history lesson, like we always do. When I first started playing marbles about a year and a half ago to 2 years ago, there were really no limits on how many tabs you could open for marble streams. It didn't really matter. I think as like people had 20 tabs open or even more. It was the kind of thing where there wasn't any limit to it. And then I think a few months into me playing marbles, they introduced like an energy system. The energy system sort of limited it to how many tabs you could play in at the same time. I want to say it was closer to like 12 to 15 tabs maybe at a time that you could play in. And then that's what happened, I think, right around October was like where we were at. And then in October, we had TwitchCon. And it was kind of mean because during the time at TwitchCon, while everyone was away at TwitchCon, they implemented like a new way of counting views. So while everyone was out partying for the weekend, Twitch like put up this thing on Twitter saying like they were going to change the way they count views. So this is the Twitter post that they posted while everyone was away at TwitchCon. You could read what it says, but I'll just summarize it for you. Essentially, it says that they've made changes to the way that counts are being used on Twitter. This is October 16th, 2019. This is the way that they're going to change the way they count views on Twitch. Essentially, it's to avoid view bots and allows people to still be lurking but not chatting in a handful of races, meaning you have a handful of browser tabs open, handful meaning 5. You have a handful of browser tabs open, and as long as it's not more than a handful, they'll still count your views, even if you're muted, right? This also says that third-party sites will no longer count. These things are like Multi-Twitch or Cadgars, one of the 2 famous ones that have like multiple tabs open or multiple streams open at the same time. All those third-party sites, they don't count as views. But the whole idea, I think, was to... Well, the way that Twitch put it was that they wanted to do this to count down to like lower the amount of bots, view bots that were being used in order to boost artificial numbers. So the reason why they implemented the system was to cut down on bots. You take that like with a grain of salt of whether or not you want to believe that or not. You know, that's the statement that they gave us. I think a lot of this actually has to do with Twitch in general, with the way it generates revenue, right? It generates revenue either through ads or subs or bits, right? Ads being the main thing that it generates revenue from. The way they were selling ads is like, oh, this channel, I think, okay, how can I put this? The way that ads worked, I think before they implemented the system, is that they weren't getting their bang for their buck. They essentially were not giving accurate numbers, because you could have 20 tabs open, but are you really going to be watching 20 tabs worth of ads? Like, is that reach of the advertisement that they're selling reaching 20 tabs? And I think they drew to the conclusion that they weren't reaching 20 tabs, or they weren't reaching all the people who had tabs open. And this is like so much more noticeable in Marbles than it is in any other game, because of the way the game is played on multiple tabs at the time. And still now to this day, people play competitively when they usually have more than one tab open. So before this happened, we already kind of knew that Twitch wasn't counting all 20 tabs or more. We knew that it was closer to maybe counting 12 tabs. But then after this announcement, it pretty much got cut in half, right? Most of us who were streaming Marbles had our like viewership count essentially cut in half. Yeah, so before this, the energy system was like I think it was like a green, orange, and red system. So like at green, you're good to race. And then at orange, you got to be careful, meaning you have too many tabs open or too many races that you're in. And then red, meaning like you weren't going to get any energy. And then after this, they Marbles decided to change things around, right? To like, they introduced a new type of energy system that I think would limit even more how many tabs you were open. So I wanted to give you guys a look at, here we go. So this is the channel that says how, they had a link on this tweet. And this tweet essentially is how viewership botting and fake engagement works. And essentially it goes over like why it is that, you know, they implemented this rule, why view botting is wrong. You guys could check it out too. I'll link it in the chat. Like I said, their whole entire complaint about why, or whole entire reason why they were changing the way views were counted was mainly because of view botting, but I think a lot of it has to do with advertisements, right? After this, I could show you guys, we'll go to Twitch Tracker. We'll use me as an example for Twitch Tracker, because I don't feel comfortable digging into somebody else's views or history, kind of. Let's go. So this is Twitch Tracker. Those of you who don't know, it's like a third-party website that tracks all your statistics for viewership, subs, follows, games you play, streams, things like that. Let's go to statistics, right? So a year ago, like right around October of 2019, you can see September, I had just come off becoming Marbles champion, and I was streaming pretty regularly, but I would say my average view count was like in the 30 mark, right? And then you can notice right afterwards, like after they implemented the new bot, like the anti-bot or anti-multi-tab system, like it halved. Like we're looking at 10, 15, closer to like 15 is the average, right? Sure, there were like occasional blips where it got a little higher. And essentially it took me, I would say, almost a whole year to be back in that average 30 count. So for a lot of us who were streaming Marbles, this new system that they implemented was essentially like, I mean, it was a kick in the gut. It took the wind out of my sails personally. There's obviously a lot of factors around here as far as like streaming less and things like that, and this is just one single case. But I'm pretty sure if you looked at any other Marble streamers around who have been streaming as long as I did, and comparing that to what happened after they implemented the new rules on Twitch about having too many tabs open, that all their views probably all got cut too. Right? And this was pretty brutal. And they did this is terrible because they did this during TwitchCon. So all these people, while they were like out partying and having a good time, essentially came back to viewerships that were like cut in half. So, like I said, it says a handful of streams, meaning no more than 5. And like, how did this kind of affect Marbles? Well, like I said, it affected Marbles in the sense that we didn't get as many views as we used to. And then this was more so noticeable, I think. This is definitely more so noticeable in people who are tilt streamers, right? tilt streamers have like are in like a terrible position because very often they'll have like 20 marbles on their stream, but only like 3 are showing up as viewership. And that's because a lot of the grinders who are playing in tilt streams are also grinding in a bunch of other streams, right? It's a little bit more rare for someone to just be watching a tilt stream. A lot of the viewers watching tilt streams are doing it because they're, you could get peanuts or you get points without having to burn any energy. So what did the studio like kind of do, I think, to change this? A lot of what the studio decided to do was essentially it started narrowing down how many tabs that competitive marble racers would be going into. This was by creating an energy system that essentially made it very difficult for you to be playing in more than like, I want to say 10 tabs. Initially, it was probably like 10, 15 tabs. It was incredibly difficult for you to not scuff your energy or lose energy or run out of energy if you played in about like 10 to 15 tabs. I mean, there was definitely a period where this changed a lot. Sometimes it was 20 tabs, sometimes it was 15 tabs. Now we're pretty much down to, I want to say comfortably, maybe like 5 tabs without having to worry. Maybe you go up to 10 if you really, really feel adventurous, but that's also really dangerous to go to 10 tabs. But yeah, most of us now, I think, play closer to probably 5 tabs at a time, just to make sure we don't run out of energy. It's so limited to now where we only have 20 energy a day, and we don't want to run the risk of losing too much energy or getting scuffed in our races and not completing our tiers, right? But that's what happened to us. That's why views for most of us got cut in half. That's why there's an energy system implemented. And I think a lot of people who come into this game within the last year have no idea of the historical background. And like, once they start playing, all they do right away is complain about, oh, like, why is there an energy system? And like, this thing sucks and it's so hard to keep track of my tiers. And I'm always scuffing my races. This is the reason why we have an energy system. Like, it's largely due to the fact that we're just this game exists on Twitch. We have to learn how to work on this platform, right? And make the game work on the platform. Therefore, that means we have to cater to the rules that they decide to implement in order to help us, right? This is not to like punish us for being great grinders or whatever and like make the game harder for us. It's because of the fact that Twitch isn't counting all the streamers who have marbles on their back. So that's like what you have to like see and understand the exaggeration. And this is not to say, okay, I'll touch on this Snow Hunter's brought in. This is not to say like to attack marbles or say you shouldn't stream marbles. What I'm saying is you have to understand what's going on so that way you have the right expectations to when you start streaming, right? This is to like temper your expectations so you understand what's going on. It's not to discourage you from playing the game or from streaming the game, right? So like, what does this mean that we do as a community, right? What do we do as a community to change that? I think that's like awareness, right? First of all, understanding that when you use a third-party view site like CatGuard, you're not helping the stream count as views. So that there's that awareness. Second of all, changing the views and like your view of how like important your stream is, right? And to temper expectations in the sense that like just because Twitch isn't counting your views doesn't mean there aren't people watching. That's the most important thing. And the proof is in the pudding, right? The proof is the fact that there's plenty of marbles on your track. There just isn't viewers being counted. And that's like that's not to like badmouth the game, but for you to like essentially temper your expectation and understand that that's what's going on, right? You're not a bad streamer because your views aren't being counted, right? That's just the way that Twitch is. There are still people playing with you. Like, don't worry about it. And don't be so concerned with views. I think that's really what it comes down to. Is like, for most of us, that's not even an issue, right? I know it's like disheartening. I know it's like discouraging. I like turned down my view counter. Like, I closed it off like last year. After this whole thing went down, I pretty much was like, well, I'm not just going to look at my views because it really can like hurt your psyche because you're like discouraged by the fact that there's so many people like on your track, but that your views just aren't counting, right? Like that really like, I mean, it changes your whole entire mentality sometimes. It takes the wind out of your sails. So like, you don't want to have that mentality like you're so obsessed with it. I think that's what I'm trying to get at. This is obviously an issue that I think like the studio is very, very aware of. Yeah, that's the reason why they put in this whole system, the energy, to like help the streamers out so that we have more counted. Now, what more can you do as a community member and as a streamer? There's like the question of, do we have enough people in the community for like the people who this views matter to, which is people pushing for partner or want partnership on Twitch, which is a whole nother topic we can get into on another week, on another episode. But the important thing is like, it's important for people trying to push for partner, right? So the question is, whether, which Snow Huntress is bringing back, the question is, does this go, like, is Marbles able to sustain enough core community members to help propel Marble streamers to partnership? The answer obviously is yes, because we've seen a few people hit it, right? Crit, LT, Nalu, right? Like recently, just some of the people off the top of my head, right? So it obviously means that it's possible to do that, but you have to also look at the situation that those people are in. Obviously, there's no like roadmap, right? But you have to see some of the things that they've done to essentially help not just their stream grow, but help their Marbles in general grow. LT and Critical, during their like run for partner or partner push, if you want, even though I don't feel like it was like LT was just doing what he does. He doesn't like, I don't think he was like partner pushing, say, right? So LT's like incredibly consistent. He's on over like, I think 500 days of streaming. Critical was like incredibly consistent. He was on every single morning. That's what you got to think about, is that they were incredibly consistent. Nalu worked her butt off to like promote herself and to get Marbles out there and to like make the right connections, and she was consistent, right? And this is not to knock anyone who didn't get partnership or anything like that. What I'm saying is you have to understand that the factors that went into it had a lot to do with not just helping themselves grow, but to help Marbles grow in general. The moves that they made and the consistency that they had was what led to, I think, them ultimately getting partnership, right? So then the question becomes, is there enough core people in Marbles to help any of the rest of us get to partnership? And that's honestly a question I can't answer right now, because I think the debate is still open. But what I do know is that like we'll never get there without like help from the community and help from fellow streamers. You need to get as many people to know about Marbles as you can. That's like your job as a streamer, a Marble streamer. Like more so than promoting yourself, I think it's important to get Marbles in general out to larger Twitch, because a lot of people don't know. This is still like, we're third year into this game. This is still a game a lot of people don't know, you know? But like Marbles is on the tipping point, I think, within the next year, probably within the next 3 months, mark my words, within the next 3 months, we're at a tipping point where like Marbles is about to hit another boom. And Marbles in general, if you look at the Twitch trends, it goes through like ebbs and flows of popularity, right? And that's just, those are the trends that happen on Twitch in general, viewing trends in general. But you could see, like, around January and February, we always hit like a big boom, right? And then it'll like, we're hitting that January mark again. Like, it's about to peak again. I am like almost certain of it. In the summer, we got a lot too. That's when like April was like when lockdown got hit this year. See that? Like it hits an uptrend every single year right around the same time. Like around January, and then COVID happened. So that's just viewing in general for Marble. And also on Twitch. That's not just like specifically for Marble. So yeah, like what do we need to do as a community, right? It's essentially to help promote the game. I think that's your best thing. Second of all, don't use CAD guard, don't use third viewing party. Third of all, if you raid into a marble streamers, or this is just for anybody, when you raid into a stream, like, make sure you delete part of the thing at the. If someone's like trying to go for a partner push, make sure you delete the raid part of the website address. All right, let's go now to our marble events of the week. We're on Monday. Amplitude just had theirs. First up we have is MSLA race. The last MSLA race on Enders' channel. Boomerang, 229 laps. Last preseason race, December 29th, 2020. Yeah, so make sure you guys are there. Last one of the year. Lots of cool prizes like 3D printed trophies. Amplitude is awesome. Amplitude's super awesome. Did you guys have fun with him today? Yeah, make sure you guys are there for the last MSL race. Enders is awesome too. We raided into him weekend. Leap of the Frog 2 with LT Digillusion. Make sure you guys are there. Let me see what local points structure. Place 1 to 100. 1 to 100 points. 100 to 1. Okay, so it's like reverse structure. Going down by 1 point each. So the top 100 will be getting points. Good, he has all the information. It's December 30th, 4 p.m. Eastern to 6 p.m. First place will be getting 400. Second place will be getting 300. Third place will be getting 200 coins. The one who did all the races and gets last is going to get 100 pixel. So whoever's the first loser, as I like to say. Plenty of people play in races and get no points. So that'll be interesting. Yeah. Reversed point structure. But yeah, make sure you guys are there to support LT. Tomorrow. Then we'll go. There we go. Pinball Wiz and Standard Damage are doing a tournament the same day later on later on that day. Wednesday, December 30th, from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern. 1,000 pixel by pixel coins in the cash pool. Pinball Wiz, is there anything you'd like to tell us about what's going on? Inspired by games of the past? Being on tracks? Is this going to be a lot of the stuff, the tracks that you made recently? Like the retro games that you had? Rolling Retro. I'm assuming it's going to have all those like 3D looking art tracks. Nice, pretty much last season tracks. You're gonna make you make some new ones though, right? Not just this. You're gonna make some new ones. It'll be exciting. It's going to be on both streams, by the way, guys. Right, Pim? Am I right? It's going to be on both streams, both Standard and Pinball Wiz. So make sure you guys are playing. You guys combining the leaderboard then? Okay, both sounds good. So make sure you guys are there tomorrow, or not tomorrow, Wednesday to support that. Also on December 30th, Bubble Babs. The Marbles End of Year Awards. An unofficial thing, but it's to essentially look at our year in review. A lot of people voted already. So make sure you guys are there to support Bubble Babs. December 30th, 3 p.m. 8 p.m. GMT, 3 p.m. Eastern. Like an unofficial, kind of like our, I don't know. In wrestling, they have the Slammies, you know, or like the Emmys. I don't know. But yeah, it goes through all the people who are like Marbler of the Year and Tilter of the Year, Track Builder of the Year, like people who favorite moment of the last year. So it's going to be interesting, fun. First time somebody did anything like this. I think it's a great idea. I voted. You should all vote if you didn't, but I voted. Then we have mid-season tournament hosted by Amplitude, who's going to have a busy, and Spoo, featuring Spoo and Amplitude TV, December 31st from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern. Bunch of prizes, some Dev 7 balls that you can win, some modifiers that you see in there. Looks like you get the Christmas tree emote or marble skin as well at top. That one's been in the Pachinko. I think there's 3 different versions of it, and I think it's been in the Pachinko. You could play it. Try to get in Pachinko. Oddly enough, I built 0 pinball. 1 hour of each of death tracks, Marble Royales, Wade mode, and prize race. Nice. 1 hour of each. This is gonna be crazy. I'm excited. Don't miss out, guys. 31st. 4 to 8. 4 hours. Dang, this is like the longest event we've had all year. As far as like a tournament. Or not all year, season. That's awesome. I miss it. It's gonna be fun. We're all gonna be there. It's like the first time since we've gotten rid of Community Day, like the Marbles community together. I'm like excited. And then after that, we have January 1st, Shen's TV's Marbleversary. 10 a.m. Tilt Your Adventure. Noon, Shenanigan Builder Invitational. 3 p.m. Map Running and Judging. 5, Shenanigan Marble Derby Classic. 7, all of the 1 hour maps. What? That's a lot of 1 hour maps. It's a whole day of celebrating with Shen's. Those of you who don't know, he also has this track builder this is talking about in January. January 1st, starting at noon, 3 hours of track building, 2 hours of racing. It's an invitational. He invited a bunch of marble track builders to get in on this. I was not invited. I am salty. No, I'm just kidding. I know. I'm not a good track builder. I only make stick figures. But anyways, make sure you're there to support this guy. I love watching Shen. He puts on great events. Shen's is like, he is like the ultimate showman, honestly. The greatest showman. He knows how to like turn it on from 0 to 60 in the snap of a finger, honestly. Amazing. So make sure you guys are there to support his 1 year or 2 year anniversary. Streamiversary. And I believe that is it for all the events that we have so far. I would like to add Thirsty for Taylor Thursdays. Make sure you're there here every Thursday. Every Thursday, if you're here, all the Grand Prix that we play on stream will be getting boost money. I usually give out like $10 to whoever wins a Grand Prix. So make sure you guys are there here every Thursday. And then on Friday, pizza tournament. I said this for a bunch of you guys who came in. Pizza tournament every Friday from 7 to 10 Eastern. Play for a chance to win Luma on Ice Speedo. We do like a 3-hour tournament. Whoever wins that gets a spin on my pizza wheel. You don't just win pizza. You can win pizza with popcorn, pizza with cookies, pizza with hot dogs / sausages. There's a bunch of things you can win. Sometimes you get lucky. Do like a wheel spin. And I think those are all the events of the week. You know I like a good sausage. Oh yeah, wait, Sesmita. What happened to your event? Wait a minute. I thought I did too. Where is it? Thank you. Thank God you're here. Oh my God. Sesmita, sorry. Oh my God. You should have said something when we skipped it the first time. There we go. Sesmita. My apology. Thank God you're here. Sesmita's doing a birthday marbles tournament. What day was this on? December 29th, 12:30 p.m. Eastern. End times dependent on how long it takes to do each Grand Prix. First place to each GP wins a stream loot, pack, and VIP. Make sure you guys check out. We're there to help, celebrate his birthday with an unofficial tournament. Still going to be fun. Our Marbler of the Week is none other than Diablo Bob. Diablo Bob, who's pretty new, I would say relatively new to the marbles community, he has already made a huge impact among track builders, creating some of the most exciting tracks that we've seen. So, everyone get your marbles in there, exclamation mark play. You guys are going to want to get in, exclamation mark play, if you're here. I promise. I promise you want to play if you want to get in on this, exclamation mark play. Talk about a little about Diablo Bob. I had him fill out my standard questionnaire. It says, how did you find marbles? I asked him how did he found marbles. Diablo Bob usually played like Jackbox games, he said, and other community games of the sort. And then one day he raided into a marble streamer, and he like really enjoyed the background of the game and thought it was a really interesting game. Said it reminded him of Legos, putting things together. But MoS was way better looking. That's funny. And then he learned about customizing marbles soon after that, and the fact that you can build your own tracks. He started watching Shens and Deathluck, or two other people I featured before who are amazing track builders as well, and learned about building tracks and how to do that. Like all of us, his first track was horrible. Totally get it. My first track was horrible. I tried to do a loop, didn't make it through. I tried to create a loop with large track pieces, the big foothill track piece. I tried to make a loop and didn't get anyone to go through. So I totally understand. And then he also says he wanted to make an aircraft carrier, but then he realized that he didn't have enough pieces, that there was a maximum. He learned that over his initial track building phase. His favorite track is the one that we're on, the Exploding Volcano track. Diablo's Exploding Mountain Expedition. His favorite memory, surprise, surprise, Diablo Bob's favorite Marbles memory is actually when he won Yusuf's track builder. He was incredibly honored and humbled because of the fact that he was a relatively new member of the community and new builder. He saw himself as a rookie builder. It was quite an accomplishment. And then finally, he said that he learned from the community that he needs better math and geometry skills. Every track builder feels that, especially when you watch Shen's track build. He punches in coordinates no problem, but I'm terrible with math, so I know. Yeah, and everyone feels truly welcome, and it's nice to have that feeling. He said that when he first started building track building, in season 19, which was last season, he stuck with a sort of seasonal theme, especially with Halloween, pumpkin patch, and also the chainsaw. So he had that kind of theme for season 19. And then he's always trying to build and learn more as a builder. So this season he was trying to out all the new features. But he's also noticed that this season a lot more people are cranking tracks, which was never his thing. So they're cranking pieces and running usual faster tracks this season, which is not style, but he did manage to create some good Christmas themed tracks with the Charlie Bound track that he made, and also the Die Hard track. And he said he recently made a Deer Hunt track too. So maybe we'll check that out. Well, what I didn't know is, Diablo Bob, you worked as 7 years IRL working as a seismic analysis, looking at earthquakes and such. I didn't know that. I didn't know you had that background. That's amazing. 7 years IRL working as a seismic analysis. That's pretty cool. No wonder why this Volcano one looks good. Everyone get your marbles in there. Last chance. So make sure you check out Diablo Bob's tracks. Thank you so much for being our marble. You make beautiful tracks. You keep up on the good work, Diablo Bob. Thrash Hard in the lead. Let's go Thrash Hard. Diablo Bob and second. You gonna win your own map? Of course. And we'll do this again next week. We'll find someone new. Probably going to be a track builder again, though I'm thinking about not it always being a track builder. You look at the way the volcano erupts, beautiful. He used the Q pieces and they actually look like real lava spewing out of it. I love it. There goes Brian. So clever. This is really nicely. And then if you have a fiery trail like Nick Twist there, it makes it even. There I go. Bounce out of it. Sprock and I having a little bit of hard. The Hrothgar's in the lead. Who's it gonna be? Diablo Bob, Hrothgar, Thrash Hard. Who's gonna be the winner? Thresh Hard, followed by Diablo Bob, Hothgar, Luna, Nick Twist, Merlin Milk, Computer Scam, Snow Huntress, GJC, and Claptrap. And who else do we have left? Scuba and Sprock in the back. Thresh Hard, are you here? Thresh Hard, are you here? You have a Marbles account? Thresh Hard, better speak up. Okay, well, if he's not here and he doesn't respond by the time we do our next race, then I'm passing down, prize down. But the winner of this race getting 200 coins. If he's not here by the next race, I'm passing this down to Diablo Bob. He missed out. But that is my thank you. Yes, 200 coins. That is my thank you to you for hanging out, watching the show, chilling while we talk about marbles. I appreciate it. Yes, 200 pixel by pixel. Just like we did last week. And let's crank some races. That's the end of the show.